Hello, hello, hello. This is Whitney.
And this is Alicia.
And this is the Luxe Hour Podcast. Join us weekly as we sit down with successful Black women from various walks of life to discuss their elevation journey. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So thank you for joining us for another week of the Luxe Hour Podcast. We are joined by the beautiful Ashley Williams this week, and we cannot wait for y'all to hear her story. I know that it's a good one. I know that it will bless y'all. But before we get to all of that, it's time for the wine of the week. So if you are new here, we sample a wine each and every week. This is so that we can expand our palate, so that we can delve into the world of wine and figure out what we really like outside of Stella Rosa. So this is a Miami Pinot Noir.
It's the Stella Rosa.
Because you know the girls will Stella Rosa is amazing.
To death. I do have two. One right here. I have a plethora. But anyway.
No, I saw this video the other day that was like, Black people, there's other fish than salmon.
Okay.
Like, we don't have to keep eating
I'm going to say that salmon every time. Look, salmon bites, salmon sticks.
All of like, I see y'all fried salmon. So, we have a Pinot Noir. I'm very excited to try this. This says, unifying grapes from California's most notable wine growing regions. Our Pinot Noir vineyards offer the true expression of their respective appellations, carefully blended to achieve balance, complexity, and richness of flavor with a soft hand in the cellar and gentle winemaking techniques. The wine evolves into an elegant balance of spice and fruit, weight, and restraint. Ooh, all right. This is in at a 13.7%, and this is from California. So without further ado,
that was a sexy description.
Okay. It was.
Right down in Napa.
And that was on the front of the bottle too. You know, normally I read the back, but this was on the front. They say we want you to notice when you pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Ashley, I'm going to pour you first. As always, we will swirl the wine in the glass to open it up, to get those full flavors, to get the full body of the wine. And then we will let y'all know what we think. I can already tell y'all.
I mean, it smells amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Strong. And strong. Okay.
Does it smell strong? It's 13.7, so I think it's good.
Straight to the point.
All right, Ashley, you want to give us your review first off?
Shoot it out. Don't worry.
What's in this?
It's giving 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay.
Okay.
Where's the little 2 points?
I think it's because I'm a cab girl.
Gotcha.
And it's a little sweet. On the sweeter side, I like very dry and bitter.
Gotcha. You like it very dry. Wow. You might be the first guest that we've had that likes it very dry.
Really? Yes. Very contrary.
Now I like a dry white. I'm a white girl.
Okay.
Well,
no, we get
my area, but I like white wines. So I like a Sauvignon Blanc. I like a Pinot Grigio. So I like a dry white. But reds, I like a little sweet. You like a dry red?
It just hit different.
This is sweeter than I was imagining.
So I feel like it's one of those wines that'll sneak up on you because it's not tasting 13.7% at all. I like it because it's not too sweet. And when I first started getting into wines, which I never really was growing up, and so probably when I was about 27, I used to like it really sweet, like Stella Rosa sweet. But this is like a perfect balance of the two. Mm-hmm. But this is perfect for me because I don't like it too dry. But so for me, this one would be like a 9.5 out of 10. Also because of what you said, that literally it doesn't taste like a 13.5. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. It doesn't. So be careful. Very smooth. Or it'll sneak up.
It will. Now it does give dessert wine. I don't know that I would drink this one with like
it does.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't drink this with like.
Not like a steak, but with chocolate cake, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I would do it with like chocolate cake, but I wouldn't do it with like a ribeye. But
it's definitely a dessert wine.
It's good, and it smells good. It's listen. I prefer white wine, but I really like this as a red. I think it's got the perfect.
Yeah,
I might have to add it to the rotation.
Thank you, Jonathan. This was a gift from Jonathan. She was a guest on a previous episode, and she gifted us this. So great recommendation, my girl.
Very good recommendation. Yes. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. So next we are going to do the treat of the week. All right, to get y'all a little nostalgic. But for those of us who are new or who have simply forgotten what the treat of the week is, essentially it's whatever luxury that you've indulged in for the week, but it's not limited to any particular aspect of life. So we are going to start off with our very special guest, Mrs. Ashley. What was your treat of the week or the luxury that you indulged in for the week?
Honestly, getting a massage.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to spend like an arm and a leg on massage. Like I found a place right up the street from where I live, and they do $40 massages for 40 minutes, and it's literally full body, literally. And so the type of job I have is very stressful. I get very like just overwhelmed, and during my lunch break, I go take a little massage break, come back, and then I'm feeling like, okay, self-care.
First, text me the deets. Okay, text me the deets.
Yeah.
Because we don't live too far from each other.
Yeah.
Text me the deets.
I know, I will. But, yeah. Massages have changed my life, y'all.
So are you like consistent with massages, or was this like a
once a week?
Okay.
It's imperative. So I
Okay.
try not to be like, oh, I'm gonna get a massage on a Monday or a Tuesday or Wednesday. I just go when I feel like it. And so usually it's like midweek, like Wednesdays usually is when I'm like, oh, I need to kind of like let the edge off.
Yeah.
And so usually that's kind of like my treat of the week is getting a massage.
I love that. Your bones should start.
And it's like finding the ones that's like not the franchise ones where you have to like the chain ones, because those are the ones that are like super expensive.
Yeah.
Like the low budget ones, they get the job done too. So just do your research on Yelp.
I love that. I have a friend who has a massage membership, and she do not play. She does not play about getting her massage every single week. So she listens to the podcast. Hey,
Massage envy.
So she.
I'm about to say,
I have a membership. I can't tell you where. I'm not sure where, but I know she has a massage membership, and she does not like, baby. That girl be like, oh, I got a rollover from last week, so I'm gonna go back to back. Like, she loves her massages. It might be massage,
But I know that they do rollovers
They do
too at
yeah,
Massage
they do.
Envy. But this place I used to go to, train in the art of touch, they do memberships as well. And I know it's like 10% off, but I don't know if it can roll over. So I don't know how many of the massage parlors out there actually allow you to roll over. So who knows? I don't know who she's with, but
I love
it. Sound like massage.
Yeah, because that's a form of like somatic therapy. Like that's a form of like bodily release, like therapeutic practices on the physical body, like releasing that from your physical
tension.
And if they relax you enough, like
I love it.
it's like your mind is elsewhere. For real. And then you just come back. I'm like, okay, back to reality.
I love it.
I know when I went to like a smaller massage party, they said that certain parts of your body like are connected to certain areas in which you feel stress.
Yes,
so you have a lot of like
so
tension
true.
in your frontal lobe. It's like a certain location to where they go to relieve that pressure.
Our meridians, they're called meridians. So
Okay.
throughout our body, they're energy channels, just like our blood veins, but they carry our energy, like our energy frequencies, and they are meridians, and they go from, that's where the concept of chakras come from.
Yep.
But they're connected, right? So that's why they say things like, if you have a migraine and you squeeze your pressure points here, it'll release it. Or if you press behind the back of your ears, it'll ease that headache. Because to your point, it's all connected.
But yeah, I love that. I love that for you. Ooh, good massage. You make me want to go get one. I'm going to get that information.
I will send it to you.
Please do. Yes.
I love it.
Okay, then what about you?
So I'm a huge shoe buff. Like I love shoes, like for real. And every year around this time, I always go at the end of the season and get new shoes from last season for the new season 4. So this weekend I went out to Macy's, I went to DSW, Nordstrom Rack, and I cleaned out on winter boots. I got so many like pairs of winter boots. I got some Sam Edelman boots for like $45. Like,
Sam Edelman.
Girl,
So
right?
comfortable.
Like,
Durable.
come on. I got tons of great deals on like boots. So I got a bunch of winter shoes for next year. So y'all be seeing those next year. A season behind, but here we are. Is what it is, no shame in my game. But I highly recommend it. Like, it's a good way to get like, designer brands, high-end brands, like shoes that are timeless. Like, I mean, winter, we talk about leather boots, gold emblem on the side. Like, I got some some Ralph Lauren, like all black, and they got like the brown cowhide top. Girl, timeless. You can't go wrong with those. So that was my treat of the week. Loved it. Highly recommend going shopping at the end of the season for next season.
I need to do that. I never do that.
This is true.
I'm one of those that's like, okay, I'm shopping when it's spring, I'm shopping when it's fall, I'm shopping and I'm spending like the most money when I do that. My mom, she's always like, Ashley, you save more money when you shop like
A season
behind. I'm like, okay, eventually I will get on that trip.
And I think that whole notion, it really comes from people that are like into designers. So like when those major designers drop their collections, you don't want to be a season behind on the fashion.
Right.
But I mean, know, it's not Sex in the City, and we're not necessarily in NYC.
I'm not in Nordstrom Rack. Not even Nordstrom, the chain.
Shoot it.
Nordstrom Rack. Come on.
So, just saying.
DSW.
Yes.
1000%. I have to really love like a designer like purse or bag, or purse, bag, shoe, or anything for me to really buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those that's like, if the shoe looks great, I'm gonna spend $9 on it.
Like
that stuff is really nice, and I'm gonna dress it up and make it look good. They can.
Especially if you dress it well. Because on the flip side, people wear designer and don't dress it well.
They don't.
You know?
Because it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. All the time. That confidence is going to speak so loudly 100% of the time.
Very much so.
I completely agree. Look at you.
But what about you?
Well, on the other side. So what I did do is I do have typically a cleaners that I go to. And so I have been going to this cleaners like on and off for a while. But the treat of the week is I was like kind of getting bummed out because I'm like, I'm always taking my stuff up there. I really wish they had like a rewards program. So literally I asked, I was like, hey, you guys need to incorporate some type of rewards program. Mm-hmm. This was like months ago. So y'all, when I went back, all of a sudden out of nowhere, and this is still a treat of the week, even though it was kind of like I planted that seed, went back, and lo and behold, they have a rewards program. Your girl got $10 off her next order.
Period.
And to me, I just think that's pivotal to point out as a treat of the week, because there's no shame in signing up for a rewards program or couponing, putting yourself in a position to where you are optimizing your savings. Because at the same time, luxury can be obtainable. Yep. And that's how you make it attainable. Yep. Is making sure that you are getting deals where possible, enrolling in rewards programs or loyalty programs to save a little bit of extra cash. And of course, because of that, the true treat of the week is I got to take in some sweaters that I was going to hand wash. But since I had a little $10 coupon, I was like, hey, I was saving all of my time. Yeah. Let me go ahead and take these, 2 sweaters in, and so I ended up paying like $2.43 after taxes. So that was a nice treat, but it all spawned from you seeking or me seeking out how luxury can be more attainable for me. Mm-hmm. And just opening my mouth and asking for what I want or throwing something out there.
You never know until you ask.
You don't know until you ask. And wealth management is how you stay rich. Like if you manage your money well, you'll keep your money, right? Like people have wealth. Yes, you know what I'm saying?
At 31. But it's okay, I'm heading in the right direction. I have awareness now.
Amen. It's too never to turn that shit around.
It's already been.
A sharp time.
Very sharp.
Because literally, I will say the wealthiest people that I know are always going to be the number one thing that they're going to ask is, what's in it for me? What benefits do I get? What deals do I get? Mm-hmm. So, and again, I work in finance. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing that I learned. And I mean, literally, they will call me up over a $15 fee. Wow. So, literally, I think that we can all learn from that. And I've started to become
I'm that person too. Always checking my statements.
Oh yeah, this was showing as $39.99 and it's ringing up as $47.99.
Somebody didn't figure out that.
That's why I picked it up off the shelf. So, but again, to your point, that's how you obtain, true wealth. So anyway, I love those skills.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of wealth, it's time to get into the meat of the conversation. So, without further ado, we're gonna let our guests introduce ourselves. So, Ashley, why don't you tell our Luxe Ladies a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Yes, well, as I said, I'm Ashley Victoria Williams. I am from El Paso, Texas. I was born actually on the Fort Bliss military base, which most people don't know that about me. I was a military brat, so I kind of traveled a lot as a young girl, and then I moved to Dallas when I was 10. Okay. And I've been here ever since. I'm a middle child. I have a younger brother and older sister. I was an auntie at 9.
Oh,
yes. Okay. Yeah, so it's crazy. So my niece and nephews, we're all like kind of close in age a little bit. But I love them. I love my family. I'm really big on community. I love like my sisterhood through church and just like, girls that I've met like in crossing through just birthdays and just events and things like that. And that's a little bit about me.
I love it. So do you prefer to go by Victoria or Ashley? Because I heard you mention it's Ashley Victoria Williams. So I want to make sure.
So my parents call me Victoria.
Okay.
But my girlfriends and my friends call me Ashley.
Okay.
So, but some days I'm like, when I go to Starbucks, I'm like, Victoria. It's just really hard out there, you know what I mean? Like some days I'm feeling like spicy and fierce, and some days I'm just like, just call me Ash.
Because Victoria is very like regal.
Yeah.
I mean, well, obviously.
And I feel like my name is very common. Every time I'm going into doctor's offices, I'm like Ashley Williams. They're like, oh, we have so many. When I say Victoria, boom, like I pop up. So I'm like, maybe I should start going by Victoria now. You know, that's just like
helps
the
to
biggest shift.
separate you out.
Yeah.
But that makes sense too, because I know even like your handle on IG
It's
includes
Ashley Williams.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell before we dive in deeper.
Okay. So then what would you say luxury is to you? Now, this is just like Treat of the Week. It can be open to anything. It doesn't have to be limited to brand names or experiences or freedom of time. It could be whatever luxury is to you.
Okay. It's kind of crazy. So luxury to me is like just being able to carve out time like through the week to spend with like my family and my friends. I know that sounds like really crazy, but like I feel the most fulfilled when I am like with my mom or my dad or just like anybody that just has really good energy. Where I leave from them, I'm like, dang, like I feel filled from leaving from you, and I feel like being around good community and just having like a strong family and just friends and things like that, like I feel like that's luxury for me. Because like I feel like before when I was like, oh, I want to buy this and this and that, I still wasn't really filled from buying those things.
Yeah.
And so like I think just after turning 30, I don't know, I just have a different look on what like luxury looks like, and I think it's just like having like a strong family and friends.
I love it. I love it.
So authentic.
So like literally like me and my mom, we get together every Friday. It don't matter what it can be. It can really just be like, hey, let's go to the park, let's go walk. My dad, like we get together, he'd be like, hey, let's go fishing, which I hate fishing, but it's spending time with him. So like I still feel filled when I leave from him and things like that. So just finding things to do with like the people that I love. That's luxury for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's so Hallmark, but at the same
I
time,
know it sounds crazy.
I
I promise y'all, this is
authentic to you.
literally
No, but
like
it is.
me on a weekly
This is
basis.
authentic.
Because like if I didn't do this, like I wouldn't be like filled at all.
Yeah. And that's a luxury. Like I come from a volatile family, so that's a luxury I don't have. I always say like healthy relationships with your parents, with your siblings, with your aunts and uncles and grandparents, like that is a luxury that so many people don't have. So I love that you highlighted that. Like honestly, I love it. That's
And I think I like appreciate it more the older I've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like before, like in my 20s, I was all like hustle. I need to make the bag. I need to get the bag. I need to do this and this and this and that. That's still like a priority. But then again, like my parents are getting older. I've lost like people very close to me, and I'm like, I should have carved out more time back then, but I was just like fixated on what's next for me. And like I just don't want to ever be regretful to where I'm like, dang, I didn't spend time with the people that I feel like really like fill me up to where I am able to like pour back into like what I do and like the people that I come in with. So.
And it's like also within that is right self-care, and self-care is loving on other people, pouring into other people in relationships that can in turn pour back into you as well. So it's really the gift that keeps giving. It's a cycle. You know, it's a cycle of love, and I feel like that's the most powerful thing, you know, that we probably heard is, you know, for that to be a luxury, because it is. You know, like there's so many of us that are literally screaming for it, dying for it, you know, taking our own lives for it. And so that's just powerful that you're taking the time out to cultivate that. And that's something that I really respect. I mean, even if it's like, you know, we can't change what happened to us, but we can change how we move forward. We can't change the past, but we can curate the type of lifestyle we want to have moving forward.
For sure. I'm telling you, like it's just crazy. Like even just from like talking to past women probably before, like they were just like they would tell me like, oh, I bought these things or I did this and that. But then I know like they're still like drowning inside, and I'm like, it's probably because you're missing community or you're missing like just like sisterhood or just whatever. Community looks different for all different types of people. But that's all I have to say is that is my luxury.
Amen.
I love that. That is so real. Okay, wow. So
don't y'all be getting emotional.
I'm trying. I had to take a little moment. I really did. I was like, okay, wow. I love that just because I'm really close to my family too. So
I was thinking that. I'm like, I knew you.
I love that. Like literally, I spent my Saturday night into my Sunday afternoon with my mom. Like she spent the night here. You know, so like that's what I'm like thinking about her like every day. Me and my dad have stayed in phone appointment at 8:30, like in the morning. Because he's in Atlanta now. So that's what I'm thinking of, and you just think about how deep that love runs and how that relationship runs and how pouring into it, your input does determine the output. It does affect it, not all the time, but it can influence it. So anyway, that just touched a part of me. But woo, I'm glad that we got to. You're okay, girl. I'm really making you cry. I'm sensitive.
You're Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio.
You Scorpio.
That's a topic for another day.
I'm sick of me. Okay, I'm sick of myself. Always gotta be hard, but that's because we're really little softies on the inside.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Yeah. We're softies, but you would never see it. No. But I'm glad that we got to hear more about Ashley beyond what it is that you do. Beyond what it is that you're involved in, beyond the accolades that you have acquired. So what I really want to talk about is that side of Ashley, because you're doing some amazing things. So if you can kind of just cue us in, I know you have some side things that we're doing outside of our 9 to 5. So if you can kind of walk us through a little bit of what you do as far as your 9 to 5, and then what you do for your 5 to 9.
Okay. So my 9, I start my days at 4:45 in the morning. Working out is a part of my job. Okay, I need to live a healthy lifestyle, and so starting my mornings that early, it just works for me. So working out is my 4 to 5, and then after that, I am a program manager for a construction and air conditioning company based out of Duncanville, Texas. I am assistant coach for Dallas Sidekicks. They're based in Allen, Texas. It is a professional soccer team. I coach 16 girls. I love them. It ranged from 19 years old all the way to 29. So just being able to be a mentor to them, I love them as well. So I do that in the evenings. I also help my boyfriend with his business, and we're trying to work on branding a business together. So it's working on his business, plus we're trying to start something outside of that as well. So I feel like I just work all day, truthfully, honestly. And so that comes with kind of being anxious, which is why I have to treat myself to massages once or twice a week.
1,000%, because we're seeing that you're a corporate cutie and a boss babe.
Mm-hmm.
So, so how did you get started in, and which I know a little bit, of course, about your background, but the audience wants to know, how did you get started in coaching and also program management? How did you take each one?
So it's crazy. So with program management, that didn't start until COVID 2020. So of course no one really had anything to really do at that time. I was laid off from my job before, which I was coaching then, but no one was seeing each other in person at that time. So I was like, what do I know that I'm good at? And what can I do to like get a job? Because at this point I was jobless for like 6 months at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, let me just kind of Google different things. I know I'm super structured. I like to manage things. So I was like, okay, let me look up PMP. I don't know what, something was just like, let me just look that up. Looked it up, studied that. Failed it the first time, not gonna lie, it's really, really hard.
So we've heard it.
I failed it the first time, ladies, but it's okay. I did not let that discourage me. I took it a second time. I ended up passing it. And then I went on LinkedIn, and it was really hard because I had no experience whatsoever. Like, I just jumped into this, like, after COVID.
Okay.
And I just put, like, open to work on my LinkedIn, and I just had recruiters just, like, bum rushing me with, like, different, like, job opportunities with program management. And so I started at a startup first, which was, like, only, like, 20 people that was working in there.
Okay.
It was a company based out of Austin. And I was there for about a year. And then I was like, okay, I kind of want to do something different. Like, I know that I'm really good at this and I could be making more money. Mm-hmm. At that time, I was very like, okay, I want more money.
Absolutely. And
period. And I was like, I know what I could do at this point. I just knew I needed to gain experience actually doing the job. So then I put on LinkedIn again, open to work. And then I had a recruiter reach out to me again about a position with CLA services. And, you know, I negotiated. At that time, I was like, I know I've only been doing this for a year. But, like, I have my certification. I know what I bring to the table. Like, I studied this company, like, from front to back. I knew about all of their, like, employees, like, the history, just, like, everything. And then I also presented myself, like, I know that I can bring X, Y, Z to the table. Mm-hmm. And it was, like, a 4-round interview. It was a lot. It was kind of discouraging because I was, like, why is this so long? Like, I personally have never had an interview process that long, being because I was coaching priorly before. So all I had to, it was like maybe 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, 4 rounds. I got to talk to 4 different people. I got to like scrape up all these professional references. Like, this is like, I never worked corporate before this.
Okay.
Like, all my jobs was with dance or training or working like in a boutique, or because I was into fashion too. So those are not hard. But I knew like I wanted a different career change. I knew I was getting ready to turn 30 soon at that point. I was 28 at that time. And I knew just like where I was trying to get to. I knew I wanted to get a home soon. Like, I was just thinking like, okay, in 3 years, I'm going to be this age and I know kind of what I desire and what I want. So I knew I had to make that shift.
Exactly.
And so yeah, I've been with CLA ever since. I'm actually in the process of interviewing with a new company. It's a women's owned based company based out of Denver, and it's a consulting company, and it'll be for program management as well. So I'm really excited about that. I should hear back with that after the end of the first quarter, and that would be like, that's like my dream job, like working with all women, like virtually or in person or not. You know, I don't feel like it doesn't get any better than that. And so I love everything that I heard. Like, I love that, like, it's all about just encouraging women from across the board of all ethnicities, all ages, literally all of that, all backgrounds. And so that's like what I'm super excited about. And plus, I have my passion too with dance too. If dance paid me more, I would totally do that full time.
Yeah.
Like, I love dance. I love being able to give back, and especially to like the Black women, being like with my history previously before when I was dancing professionally, what I had to impact and endure. So just being able to be a blessing to them and just be like, hey, this is what I learned. Take away what you like to take away, and just kind of coaching them up for that next level of them wanting to either be in like NBA or NFL. So.
And before we get into the dance piece, because I want to hear more about that story, I want you to share more about like when you were professionally dancing. But I know Wit is literally, you guys speak the same language career-wise. So
we both work in. I'm a senior project manager.
Yes. We've had a lot.
So I made the right career.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I love that for you guys, because again, you guys got in at a time before, I would say before it was big buzz about it. You know, before it started going around on TikTok, like, hey, you guys need to get in tech, and specifically, you guys need to get in program management or one or the other. So you guys definitely got in early on. So that's really exciting. But what I'm curious about is the PMP process. How did you prepare for that? Because I know that there are some women out there that are saying, hey, I want to take that step, but I kind of don't know where to start. I'm pretty intimidated. What advice will you give to those people?
So if you deal with test anxiety like me, I do. I had to take a lot of like quizzes online and in person. Like, I actually have to buy the books and like do quizzes like once a week, because it's crazy. I can do all this studying and I can get there and like just forget everything that I studied. But I've always been like that since like junior high school. So I knew I had this issue even when I went back and got my master's. Like, even with the GRE, like, I literally had to do the same thing. Buy the books. I know some people can just go in and just do it, but for me, I was like, I had to like study it because I'm a visual, and so usually when I see the questions, because sometimes a lot of those questions in the books are like on that test.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I can like picture and see the questions like in my head from when I was studying it, and so like that's what helped me like pass the test the second round. The first round, it was all anxiety because I was like, I gotta pass this. I want this job like right away. I want this career change like ASAP. And I think I went into it with already like a lot of nerves, and I feel like that's why I wasn't able to perform my best like the way I would have liked to. And the second time, it was more so of like, let me not obsess over studying. It was more so, okay, I'll do this every other week, but taking the quizzes, because it got to a point where I was doing it like every other day. And I was like really obsessing over like, I gotta do great. So if you're an obsessor like me, like perfectionist type A, all of those things, I'm really all of that. Like, just give yourself grace in that process. Like, you might have to take it a second time, and a lot of people that you'll meet, they will tell you they had to take it 2 or 3 times. It's not an easy certification.
Or the boards.
It's just not easy. It's just not. So just don't give up. It'll be worth it. I'm really happy I stuck with it. I love the money.
It's worth it.
I love the money. It's worth it. And yeah, it's challenging. I feel like that's like a big challenging part of my life because it's like I never really kind of know what to expect. It's always something new and evolving and changing in the tech world, especially in project management, as I'm sure you can attest to that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't like to be challenged, like always. Yeah.
And so I know that you're a big person who you want to be challenging. You want to make sure that you're well prepared. So I'm sure you probably utilize some of the best resources and tools. I know this was some years ago, but can you recall some of those tools specifically that you used, or like what book it was, or what like online quizzes that you took? This is a long shot, but
Ooh. So I don't remember the book like right off the top of my head, but I know like I usually would just Google like PMP quizzes, PMP tests, PMP exams, like different things like that. But I would put that year of when I was taking it because it changes every year. And then like I actually had like a tutor too. I found her on Facebook, and she like helped me with that as well. So really like having a tutor and like those quizzes online more so, I feel like is what helped me more so than the book. The book I barely really even touch like that because I'm digital everything. I like to use my iPad and my tablets and stuff like that. So I didn't really like use the book as much.
Yeah, I think you call out a good point with the person-to-person connection that kind of helps you ease into the field or make that transition. There's a group for anybody that's interested in joining the project or program management space. There's a group on Facebook. I think it's called Black Women in Project and Program Management, as a matter of fact. But they have fantastic contributors. So many Black women from across the country, across the world, really contribute to the group. And they talk about things of that nature, right? Preparing for the PMP. And then further than that, right, just adjusting to the role. So many girls I always see are women commenting like, this is my first role. I'm feeling just like overwhelmed. And they just are encouraging and they give advice. And I mean, people bring things and they're like, I have this like man in my job who keeps mansplaining and he makes my life live in hell. Like, what should I do? Like, such a good connective community to your point about community. So if you have Facebook, and even LinkedIn,
LinkedIn, like I utilize all of those.
Yeah, leveraging those communities will be a great help. And then to your point, Alicia, the PMI Institute I know has tons of like online study materials, test guides, things like that. So there's lots of resources, but stay connected to that community that Ashley's been emphasizing all episode because it matters, especially as you're transitioning into a new career field. Like it helps, like you said.
And like, don't be afraid to like reach out. Like I was on LinkedIn and like I found like different people that I went to college with that I saw that was like in like project management, and I just reached out to them. Like I was like, hey, I'm like interested in like getting into this field. Like, can you offer me any advice or like just anything like that? And I even reached out to companies that I was interested in because I did have some that I was already like doing my research on. Sometimes they might not respond back. I didn't get any, sometimes I didn't get responses, but sometimes you will. So just don't be afraid to reach out. You just never know like who will get back with you and who they're connected with and who they can, you know, put you in connection with. So
I mean, which we know nowadays, it's not even necessarily what you studied in school, what you have.
It's who you know. It's really who you know.
Though I am curious, what did we get our degrees in? I know you have your master's, but what did you actually study in school?
So it's crazy. I got my bachelor's of science in psychology. I thought I wanted to be a criminal psychologist. At a point, I did. Okay. Like, for real. I studied the GRE and actually was going to go to forensic psychology school. Okay. Like, I really did. I had that plan, but dance kind of held me back with that. So I didn't end up pursuing that. And then I went back and got my MBA because I knew at a point in time I was going to own a business of some sort. I just didn't know what. And with my dad being in the military, I got the Hazelwood exemption, so it took care of like all of that. So I was like, let me just go ahead and do this.
1,000%. 1,000%. Okay, nice. And then I know you said ultimately you wanted to work with women, like this job, right? That would be your dream job. So would you say program management, working in the type of environment or the type of culture that you described earlier, is that your dream job? Is that where you ultimately want to land, or?
That's hard. I feel like it's always kind of changing. I'm kind of trying to figure that out. I want dance to forever be affiliated in my life, and I'm just trying to figure out how I can make money with that and be able to still impact like women
It could be like a
you know,
consulting
like
or nonprofit.
so yeah. I've been like brainstorming for like years on
Even
this.
opening your own studio, like have you played with the idea of like opening your own studio?
I was thinking about that.
Because the money that parents pay for dance lessons and stuff like that for their
Dancing
kids.
dolls.
Yeah, and it's all about finding the right area because
Mhm.
you know, being back south, most parents do not pay for
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
when I was growing up dancing, I had to go back up north,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to have it back south, but I know like it might not do well.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to have it up north. There's a lot of studios up north, so it's just like I don't know, like just trying to figure it out in the process. So you I didn't think about that area. I guess I could maybe.
Plano urban too.
Yeah.
Like somewhere, some those middle,
Yeah.
those understated, like the Highland Park, Plano urban,
Yeah.
Addison, somewhere in the middle.
I could.
Take your kids to gymnastics. Why not? You know, an actual dance studio.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't think I will be in corporate forever. I think I'm driven by it because of, I hate to even say it, but like the money.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I do like security and stability is like a benefit. All of those things.
You're a
like,
homeowner now too.
it's constantly on the forefront of my mind. Even before I was like a homeowner, I always just like, I need to know that I'm going to be stable and I'm not going to have to like worry about like anything. Like, I don't know. I just always kind of been that way. And so I feel like that's why dance kind of always kind of go on the back burner. Sometimes when I am like, I'll think about it. I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of want to do this. And then I'm like, no, like I want to get better with my job and like perfect that. And then I'll kind of put that on the back burner and not really like work on it. But my boyfriend, he's always like in my ear about, you need to pursue this, you need to pursue this, don't forget about this, that's your first love.
Your birthday's impressive. I mean, tell the girls what you did, you know.
We have a dance resume and a career resume.
Yeah.
Share the dance resume if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay. So, I am a former Dallas Mavericks dancer. I danced for them for 4 seasons. I was 19 actually when I tried out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was 19. I was at UT.
Coming back. We had 4. Tell me about your sessions.
I know. It's weird. Do y'all ever feel like y'all like don't really like to talk about yourself?
Oh
yeah.
Girl, Alicia dragged
you know, like usually I just like let other people kind of like do it for me.
I just don't really feel the need to say that.
I don't know why. I'll talk about y'all, like my friends and everything. I'm like, yeah, this is all about them. But when it comes to me,
because it's like you don't want to be braggadocious. I get it, but it's like, but it's not. You know, in this case, it's reality. And so I will also say that unfortunately, a lot of times Black women we're taught to humble yourselves. You know, don't be braggadocious. And really it's just don't speak on what you've accomplished because we can't handle that you've accomplished it in spite of sexism, racism, all of that.
And our accomplishments are often minimized, right?
Yeah,
so a lot of times in our community, people don't understand the level of effort that it takes to pull off the things that we pull off on a day-to-day basis. And as a Black woman, it's almost just expected, right? So at the most bare minimum level, you look at single moms. That takes a heck of a lot of work to keep a household running by yourself, right? To be the sole breadwinner, the sole cook, cleaner, child bearer, teacher in the home. And like, we just like, oh yeah, that's normal. And it's not. And so that spreads itself and that stretches into so many different areas. So then we do things like, I was a dancer for the Dallas Mavericks, and it's like, I want to do a little dance on the side. Like, girl, what?
No, because now we know the Cowboys or the Mavs necessarily don't have a lot of women that look like you, that look like us. Yeah. And that's an understatement, okay? But, you know.
No, but
it's
evolving now.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there could be more Black women on both of those teams. And I'm hoping soon that'll change.
Well, I'm glad I know one.
There has been progress because look, when I was dancing, it was only 3 of us out of 22 girls.
Wow. And how many of you guys actually danced and got on the floor?
1. Yeah. 1.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy. They don't even tell you that. It's like you audition, you make the team, you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna be dancing at all the games. No, you have to audition. You will be out on the court 5 times. We had to audition for all 5 of those routines. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't make them, you just weren't at the game. So it's kind of like you weren't really on the team. There were girls who did not dance like ever.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a competitive world. I feel like we grew up on shows like Dance Moms or what's the other shows for like the little girls?
Dancing
Dolls.
All of those,
Yep.
yeah, and that's such a competitive sport. Like that and cheerleading are so competitive. Like, girl, and it don't. It's no surprise that they're translated over to your corporate career, right? That you're now equally competitive and equally goal oriented in your career.
And I think it's like that from like dancing as early as I did. It's on like time management and competition. Like I feel like us girls on the team, we weren't even able to really even create that sisterhood because we were all competing to be out on the field. You know, it's only 10 girls that could be out there out of 22. So it's like, well, I don't want to be too close to this person because I'm worried about myself and I want to be out here. It's kind of crazy. I learned so much between the ages of 19 and 23 because I retired at 23. Yeah.
Come on, retirement.
Yeah, but I loved it. I
rebrand.
There's pros and cons to it, but I feel like it set me up to where I made so many like connections, and like that's why I'm able to experience a lot of the things that I have experienced and still sometimes experience and get to do because I was affiliated with that organization. So
1000%. We love it, guys. We love it.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell us, what is a day in your life like? What is just a typical day in Ashley's life look like?
As y'all already know, because I
1:45, you know you at the gym.
4:45 military time. And at 4:45, I work out from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'm back home, showered by like 6:30, got my coffee going. I start at 7:30 with work because I work on EST time. So, and working from home is not easy because I just go like 7:30 to 3:30. As you know, I literally just go, like no breaks really. Yeah. People are not cognitive of your time. They put meetings on your schedule with, even if you put that you blocked it for 30 minutes for lunch. So I don't know. It's like working from home comes with its pros and cons, but overall I would say I love it. But anyways, after that I work out again at 5:30 in the evening. Because I'm training for a competition right now. That's the only reason why. So I am doing 2 a day, and then I leave, and then I usually go coach my girls from 8 to about 11 o'clock at night, all the way in Frisco. Wow. And that's 3 times a week, and then we have games on Friday, Saturday, either on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Talk about a busy schedule.
So yeah, as much as I get up early, I still tend to go to bed at like 11:30 at the latest. And I still try to carve out time in there to work on like other pursuits. Which is it could be 15 minutes one time, it could be 30 minutes, but as long as I try to intentionally be like, let me still work towards like that long-term goal, which is like something affiliated with dance. I try to like put time towards that too. And it's not like that on an everyday cadence. Like I didn't do that at all today, but I'll try to like incorporate that into my schedule tomorrow.
I love it. So you talk a lot about like living a healthy lifestyle and pursuing like health as a goal. And I know that you work out at 4:45, dance all week long. How does that play into like your nutrition? Do you have like any specific health tips or health goals in terms of how you maintain your wellness to be able to output at the level that you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, it's 70% nutrition. I don't just work out and eat healthy because I want to look good. It's more so because I want to feel good. And then I've had like different health issues like within my family that I can like prevent from happening with me if I like get into working out and eating, which is what really just drive me to end up getting into it. And I thought like, okay, this is just gonna be something I do. It was like a twice a week type of thing. And it went from 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Now it's 5 times a week. I work out like Monday through Friday.
And twice a day.
Twice a day right now. Yeah.
So that's 10 times a week.
So, but I've seen a difference with my skin, like just the way that I sleep. Like some people are like, how are you able to only function off of like 5 hours of sleep? But it's because of what I'm eating. And that's honestly, you really just need a good 5, 6. 6 is like pushing it, but like a good 5 if you're eating healthy and like some type of active to some sort, like you can function a full day.
Yeah. So what does eating healthy look like? Is that salads only? Is that vegan? Is that in proportion to your lifestyle or your body or your goals? Like I think a lot of times, especially nowadays on social media, eating healthy almost in some ways gets a bad rep. Like I see a lot of stuff on TikTok about like body positivity and like about how we should just love ourselves however we are, however we come. But we all know that like our food, quite literally, you are what you eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, what does eating healthy look like to you? Is that like a vegan? Is that lean meats and vegetables? Is that eating, shopping on the perimeter of the grocery store and staying away from processed foods? Like, if you could give any like food tips in terms of what you eat to feel better.
I guess it just depends on the person. Like, I've tried vegan, I tried vegetarian, I tried like just shrimp, well, pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say now I'm kind of more on the pescatarian side, and it's because like processed foods is not good for my skin. Like, my skin is very, very sensitive. I can eat like French fries or just any type of fried food, and my skin will literally like break out.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the eating that I do is not just because I want to feel good inside, but because of my skin. I really don't wear a lot of makeup like that as is. So like I want to avoid like blackheads and all that like popping up, and I scar easily. So it's so like it's just insane. So it's like I try to really like stay away from sugar. Well, sugar is in fruit, but you know what I mean, like candy, cookies, cakes, like
white sugars,
holidays, and like birthday is like that, and that's kind of why I drink cab. Like, it's not as fruity as like most wines, so that's another reason why I drink dry red.
Okay.
But yeah, you have to find what works for you, and like you can create like different recipes that's actually good. You don't just have to eat broccoli and salmon. Like, you can do miso salmon with like Brussels with like turkey bacon in it. You can do sweet potato mash and like just spice it up with the seasons that you want. It's kind of just like finding different things, and a lot of the recipes that I found is on TikTok and YouTube. And I just type in different things that come to my mind. I'm like, stuffed miso salmon chicken. Like, I don't know, because someone is like thought about making something like that, and usually I find it and I just step by step just like make it. And yeah, I try to follow like eating like salmon, cod, shrimp, red snapper. Like, it is expensive. My grocery is very expensive. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I feel really good, and my skin is flourishing now, finally. But yeah. And I try not to drink a lot of coffee. If I do, it's black.
Okay.
Because adding all that sugar and creamer, it's just it's just not.
So
no red. I don't do red meat. I don't do pork. I don't do. I'm kind of getting away from chicken.
Understandably.
But yeah.
Especially with avian flu. Come on, H5N1.
But yeah, I have a lot of health issues like in my family, and so those type of foods I have to just stay away from.
I love that, because I think a lot of Black women and Black men, for that matter, can look at their family history and see a ton of health ailments that they just, quite frankly, don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, in their day-to-day life. And I think our parents and our grandparents were accustomed to a certain diet, largely because of lack of choice, right? And now that we have so much choice, what I hear you saying is that it's best to eat clean and just listen to your body. Like, it doesn't.
And I still have cheat days. Like,
I
still have, like, I love Mexican food. Like, I love Mexican food, and I just get
now do you do a margarita with your Mexican food, or do you just
usually I ask for a skinny margarita. With that latte. I try not to have all that sugar. But yes, I always have a marg.
So speaking of just divine timing and alignment, as was done with your home, I'm curious to know how that has shown up in another component of your life.
Oh,
in your love life.
Come on, transition.
That was really good.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your relationship status. Are we single, dating? I know the answer. Are we in a relationship?
I am in a relationship. I am very much in a relationship. It's been 8 months.
Since last 23rd.
But actually he's my best friend. So we've been knowing each other since high school. And it's kind of like one of those divine timing, like God's divine timing, literally.
Okay, so we need the story.
I'm like blushing. It's crazy because like I was single for like 7 years before we actually got together, and I intentionally did not date for 3 years out of those 7. Just like a lot of healing that I had to go through, and just like I had to go to therapy, but just a lot of different things. So I just needed time to myself. And I think it's also really, really great to just embrace singlehood.
Yeah.
Like, I embraced my singlehood for sure, all of my 20s. Like, and it was great. It was great. Because once you get in a relationship, it changes. You got to think about the other person and their feelings and their dreams and their goals and including them in yours and just like trying to find that fine line to make sure that everyone is satisfied and like their desires and wants is being met and needed. So yeah, it took us some adjusting, but I feel like we finally got to the point where we're like, okay, it's starting to feel right now because I'm just so used to being by myself. Truly, like
yeah, after 7 years,
you know, like I had my own routine of how I did things and just like my own space and yeah. But now it's like, okay, I like getting my space.
So how did you guys transition until, well, not even that. How important, or I guess in what aspects do you feel like it was truly divine and it was best that you guys were friends first? Like, where is that apparent in your relationship? How has it made it better?
Because I feel like he knew how to just handle me. I feel like just like with us being friends for as long as we've been friends, and he knew everything about me, like the guys that I dated previously before, what happened with that. He knew like what, just everything from in and out of what happened in those past relationships. So he kind of like just knew like kind of like not to do those things, the things that these guys was doing previously before. And he just has so much like respect for me. And I feel like I saw a lot of my dad in him with certain traits. And like when I met his parents, I was like, this is why you're like just like such a gentleman the way that you are, because I saw how his dad was with his mom. And so I knew I always liked him, but it was one of those things where it was just like, dang, this guy has never tried to try me sexually or anything like that, because we've always hung out like at each other's places, but like nothing would like ever happen. So I feel like I was holding on to that friendship of a male figure that's not gay. No, well, not gay, but you know, a lot of women have like, you know, those type of friends. So for me to have a male friend of that, I don't know. I held on to that for so long, so I was like, I just want us to be friends, like, and you need to explore and live your life too. You know, like if it was up to him, we would have been dating at like 18.
Oh wow, okay.
Like he told me when he met me when we were 14, he's like, I knew you were who I wanted to like spend the rest of my life with. And he tells people this every time, y'all, like when y'all will meet him, like he will tell y'all, we should have been together since we were 14. He leads with that, and then he'll like continue to go.
So what stopped him from like, because you said he never did tell you that he had those feelings, or like,
he started to tell me like in 2018. At that point, we were both 26. But like he had just graduated from college, and I still just felt like he needed to live. He's like 4 months younger than me, but I just finished school a little bit earlier than he did. But I just feel like you just know when a man is just like not really ready. Like I just feel like he needed to live his life, like and just like explore and just do things. And like when we talk now, he's always like, I'm glad that you like navigated that situation like that, because he's like, back then I didn't understand it, but like now he's like, I'm glad I partied. Not that he doesn't party, he still parties, but it just looks different.
And he could have fumbled the woman, you know, he could have fumbled.
And he said, I knew I had to come correct with you also. So like it got to a point like in 2021, that's when I was like, okay, I'm ready to date. At that point I was like 29, and not because I was approaching 30, but I was just like, I know this is who I want to be with, and I need to just go ahead and tell him. So the crazy thing is, y'all, I reached out to him. I reached out to him April 2021. It was around his birthday, because we always so he got in a relationship previously before that. In like 2018, 2019. I was very upset about it. So we did not communicate during that time, but he would still like text me happy birthday and like holidays. That was like the only communication. And then like April 2021, I was like, I know this is what I'm gonna be with. He's not with that girl anymore. So this is my prime time to like really tell him how I feel, because like I wasn't good about communicating how I felt either. Like I was very much, let me beat around the bush. I really didn't like getting vulnerable with much people. So I was just like, I feel like he should know how I feel already. That's kind of how I felt, but he didn't. So I reached out to him April 2021, and I was like, hey, can you meet me at Nico Cena in West Village? That's
So
where
cute. Come on in person. You was like, I'm not doing it over text.
I'm not doing it over text. I'm not doing it over phone because I need this man to know that I'm being serious, and like I have major growth from 2019 to 2021. Like there has been a lot of growth within.
Come on,
so I feel like I was ready to like, you know, if the opportunity presented itself, I told him I was like, I don't want you to feel obligated to feel like you have to be with me now or anything like that. I just wanted you to know what was on my heart and how I feel about you. So girl, I was super nervous. I took 2 shots before meeting with him.
You're so grown that you was just like, listen, I just need to tell you this. You can do with it what you please, but this is how I feel. I think that's powerful. I think
Owning
it. Yes.
Owning
y'all, if y'all could have seen my face, I was just like, so this is how I feel. And then I was like, hold on. Took a shot and then I came back and I was like, okay, let me explain myself. But we didn't get together right away then because that was like April 2021. We didn't get together until January of 2022.
Wow. So what was that middle? What was that middle chunk like?
Yeah. Pride and ego. It was just like I felt like he should have known certain things of not to do. As far as like, I don't know. I feel like it was hard for him to not court me, but he was so used to just like coming over or just going to Katy Trail, and I wanted him to like actually like take me to dinner.
Yeah,
because it's different now. Because like now we're trying to like really exactly like we were best friends running Katy Trail, and you know you coming over and just watching R. Kelly and you know Netflix and all those type of things. That was cool, and I still love to do those things. But like you said, I wanted to see that shift and like, okay, this is actually really serious, and I just want you to like court me and take me out. And the good thing about him, he's really good at receiving like criticism, and he was like, whatever I can do to make you feel good and what's gonna make you feel the best, like I will work on it. And vice versa, because I know I have some things to work on that I'm still working on, okay? But like it just matters. It's about how bad you want it at the end of the day with that person. Truly.
Oh my God. And what did we talk about on the last episode? With that,
you gotta choose each other.
You have to wake up every day and choose each other. And both people have to be intentional with it.
So literally, it's not, you know how people always be like 50-50. It's 100-100. You gotta come 100%. It's not really like 50-50. Like you have to be all in or not.
Yeah.
You know? So
all right, Luxe Ladies. I don't know how 3 make it a union. So I don't know how many times y'all gotta hear it, but it's not a 50-50. It's 100-100.
It is 100.
Yes, and y'all have to choose each. It's a conscious. Relationships are a conscious effort. Love is an action word. It's not just a feeling. It's not just something that you just, oh, I feel it today and I don't tomorrow. It's a choice you make every single day, day in and day out. I love that. Thank you for highlighting that.
Yeah, it's like intentionality and choice versus butterflies. Like, you know, because it's not a fairy
I'm sure we all felt that. And then it just like died down.
Like butterflies turn into gnats. You know what I mean? I was just gonna say, I saw a post that was like, "Why my butterflies pigeons?" And I was like, "Oh,
But for real.
But anyway, you don't have to have pigeons. You can have the real good stuff. You don't need nothing fluttering around in there. Just a surety and a knowing and a clarity and intentionality.
Yes, all of those things.
And the thing that I really took away from you talking about your love and your love story was that normally we have like, you know, a loose set of questions that we'll ask, and your love story answered them all naturally, authentically. It's like we can have to ask, how did you know he was the one? What were you looking for?
How did you keep the flame?
How did you keep the flame?
Yeah. Literally. It's crazy. It's like when a person really takes the time to study you, like I feel so understood. There'll be some times where like I'm feeling a certain way and I didn't even tell him, but like he knows. He's like, I can tell you're like anxious or what's on your mind. I can tell you're really thinking about something. Like, how can I help you? Or if he know that I came home from like a long day of practice, he'll text me and be like, hey, what do you want to eat? It's just like little, because like I'm an acts of service gal. And so like I do like gifts, but like more so like super thoughtful gifts. Like I said, I love like Dutch Bros or something like that. And he would like if you bring me coffee, or I like to journal, or like little bracelets like this. Like my mom bought this for me. It's like a little flower rose bracelet, just like little things like that. Like I just love that, and so he fulfills that so well, and so yeah. Yeah, it's really great to be seen, and not just to be seen, but to truly be understood. Because I feel like I was misunderstood by a lot of past guys that I dated previously before, and it's because they never took the time to really just understand the deeper layer within me. It's just like they just saw like the external, and they thought they had this like perception of who I could be or who I would be, and then when they saw that it wasn't that, it's kind of like,
because it's like you're a woman of depth, you know, and I can see that, you know, being, you know, like I said, women, you know, like us, where we talk about, you know, holistically, we talk about even ourselves, or we're